we have a great listener question from one of our YouTube followers, Laser. Shout out to Laser. This awesome person shared that they wanted to know, should we come up with a testimony when we're a brand new believer? They said, I feel like I'm still struggling with my faith and getting, good Christian habits, but is having a testimony ready to go something I should have? So Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I appreciate Laser leaving this comment over on our YouTube channel. And I don't remember what exactly the episode was, but he left a comment there. And I think it's a great question because, there is a period of time between when Jesus called his first disciples to come and follow and the time when he told them to go and make disciples. And so there is, generally speaking, there's a need to get established in our faith and to learn more about Jesus so that we can represent him better. But I think it's also interesting that those first disciples from the very beginning were sharing with others and inviting them to come and investigate Jesus for themselves. And that's what I would say to you, Laser, is that your testimony is just the story of what God is doing in your life. And so no matter how little you know what he's doing so far. And that's really all it was. Abigail, you one of the most famous chapters, I think, in the Bible about a testimony is out of John 9, where Jesus heals the man who was born blind. And there's a famous verse in there where they're really pushing the blind man to tell them more about Jesus than he knows. And he tells them, listen, I all I know is that I couldn't see, and then I met Jesus, he healed me, and now I can see. And so that's really what your testimony is. It's simply you sharing with others what God has done in your life so far and inviting them to come and see Jesus for themselves. So that's what I would say, Abigail. What would you say to Laser when it comes to developing his testimony?
Yeah, so he actually commented on our tough love and discipleship episode. And so this definitely fits into a little bit what we were talking about on that particular episode. And just getting into just the weeds of becoming a disciple. So it was definitely on topic. So what I thought of first was the woman at the well. So the woman at the well had this experience with Jesus, and then she heads into town and she just tells people, come and see this dude who knew everything about me. And then later we learn that they all said, we first came because you told us to come, but now we've seen for ourselves. And I think we can really see our testimony in that way. In fact, we should see our testimony as an introduction, as a come and see. And then what we hope will happen is that people will come to know Jesus themselves. So we do not have to have it all together. In fact, the people that we share Jesus with via our own story, like you were saying, Andrew, they may actually, just really go for it. And maybe they don't even make as many mistakes as we do. And wouldn't that be awesome? And really all our testimony is an invite to come and see for themselves and begin their own journey. So we definitely do not have to have it all together. And I know the feeling, I think we all are like, boy, I should not be the poster child for Jesus because I'm a hot mess. Well, that's actually maybe the best poster child, because this woman was clearly not doing great in life, and probably her whole village knew that. And so her saying, this guy knew everything that I've done, they were all like, ooh, and that's a lot, So
yeah, let's go see this guy.
So it ended up being really awesome. So I think, Laser, I don't know you, but whatever your story is of Jesus, it's probably special because they all are. And I think there's people in your life who probably need to hear it. So I think It is something worth figuring out and kind of coming up with our own, how we're going to put that into words. So
yeah. And Abigail, maybe just I'll put you on the spot because I know your testimony is something that you've given thought to, and you have spent some time thinking through, well, what would I say? 1 Peter 3 tells us to always be ready to give an answer to those who ask us about the hope that is in us. And a simple formula that I've heard that can be helpful, like a simple framework that someone like Laser could use to think through, well, what is my testimony, is these simple questions where you could say, there was a time in my life where, and then
Mhm.
fill in the blank, what was your life like before Jesus? There was a time in my life where,
Yeah. So
and
for,
then,
yeah, and then you can either do a short version where
right.
you say, and then I met Jesus and made him the king of my life, or you
Hmm.
can really put in the gospel there. I guess it
Yeah.
depends on how
Well,
like interested the person seems.
yeah. Why don't, and then at the end, there's a simple ending question. You want to end with a question where you ask the person, have you had a similar experience, or do you have a similar story in your life? So Abigail, do you want to just give us your 10-15 second
Oh, the
testimony?
15-second one. Okay.
It could be 20 seconds.
All right, start the clock, everybody. Okay, so there was a time in my life when I was a total mean girl. I genuinely wanted to be the smartest, funniest, prettiest girl in the room. And if I wasn't, then I would do whatever it took to be that, even if I had to cheat my way to the top, which is not great. And it did not bring fulfillment in any way, shape, or form. But thankfully, someone told me about Jesus and I accepted his forgiveness and I made him the king of my life. And it has given me a confidence in him and a purpose in him that brought me fulfillment that I'd never had before. So I was wondering if you had a story like that.
Yeah, and that's it. I really appreciate you being able to share that, because I want folks to understand that when we talk about sharing your testimony, we really aren't talking about giving a huge theological dissertation. It's simply sharing with others the difference that Jesus has made in your life. And in many cases, it becomes the opening for a fuller conversation with more questions being asked. And that's really what you want. You want a conversation with people who don't yet know Jesus. You don't want to just lecture them
Mhm.
about all the theological truths about Jesus. You want to learn, where are they at in relation to faith in Jesus, and then how can you help them take that next step? So, really great question, Laser, and great
Yeah.
job, Abby.
Yeah, thanks for just putting me on the spot there. But it's always good practice, and it is actually really good to practice, honestly, because
Right,
you never know. You never know when you
right.
might need to share it. So